What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about some things that I wish I knew ahead of time before I started playing Nightingale. Before we get into it, big shout out to Inflection Games, who provided me with a key ahead of time. So at this point in time, I have about 30 hours in the game, and these are some of the things that I learned later on that I sort of wish I knew very early on, because it would have made my journey so far a lot easier. So I want to share those with you guys, and I'm not going to waste your guys' time. Let's just go ahead and jump into it. So number one, as you're going through the game, right at the very beginning, you're going to immediately sort of hit your first bottleneck in terms of essence dust. So essence dust is used to repair items. It's used to buy some of your first kind of simple workbenches, and it's a white currency. Now, this currency, as you go through and you complete some of your early quests and things like that, you'll get a little bit, but you're going to realize that, hey, I really don't have a ton of this stuff, and it's going to slow down your progression in terms of unlocking those different crafting benches that'll allow you to craft bigger and better things that'll then allow you to take on bigger and better challenges to progress the story. One of the early ways you can get a ton of essence dust is by crafting smooth marbles at the workbench. So what you want to do, unlock your workbench first. That should be the first recipe that you buy. After that, you just go grab a ton of rocks. Now, where do you find rocks? Rocks are typically around, well, any sort of like rock formation, but I found a ton of them around water. So whether it's a pond, a lake, a river, there tends to be lots and lots of piles of rocks. Take these rocks back to that workbench and craft smooth marbles. They're very, very quick to craft. You can craft 99 of them incredibly fast. And when you do, that gets you 198 essence dust, which doesn't sound like a lot in terms of numbers, but in the game, that is a ton, especially when you're considering that your early workbenches are between 10 and 20 essence each. So just by crafting one stack of 99, which should take roughly 40 rocks, you're going to be able to go and purchase everything that you need to get started. Now, obviously, there is diminishing returns here, because as you get further into the game, that white essence dust is going to become more and more worthless, and it's only going to be used for repairing. So while it still has repair value, it's not going to be as strong in terms of purchasing, but that'll allow you to get off to a nice kind of huge head start when it comes to purchasing everything. So number two, this one's very easy, and it's something that I sort of just experimented with to see if it worked, and that's holding E on PC to pick up everything in the area at once. This makes it incredibly easy, especially when you're cutting down trees, when you're gathering resources, to just pick up everything that was dropped. So don't work harder, work smarter. Number three, this is, again, one of those things that you don't really think about until you realize it. Extinguish your fires before you leave your base. This preserves fuel. Now, early on, when you're burning plant fiber or wood bundles, it's not really a huge deal because you can get those things very easy and they're incredibly plentiful. But as you get further into the game and you start accessing coal and gas and things like that, that's when you want to make sure to extinguish, because that's a more valuable resource. Number four, this is a big one because this will cause you so much headache and frustration if you don't realize it early on, and that's there are different qualities of refined materials. So for instance, you have Lacunas ingots. These will create higher level tools and weapons than tin ingots, for instance. Now, there are also differences when it comes to hides. You have predator hide and prey hide, predator bone and prey bone. These do not combine. So if you're crafting something and you need 5 felt, for instance, then you're going to need 5 predator felt or 5 prey felt. These don't combine. So if you have 3 prey and 2 predator, it's not going to work. It's going to tell you, hey, you don't have enough of the thing that we need. Now, this has stopped me a few times early on before I caught on to what was happening. Once I knew, then I can make sure I had enough of the same type of raw materials in order to refine. Or I would be very kind of particular about, okay, I need to go out and hunt some wolves to then get predator pelts so I can turn it into felt. So just something to keep note of. And the same thing happens with like ingots, if you're refining those into metal sheets, or if metal parts, anything like that, you need to have the same type in order to refine them into something. So just keep that in mind. Number 5, don't sleep on realm minor cards to alter how your home realm works. These can help you give a big boost in combat, gathering, refinement, speeding up crafting times, being able to find certain resources, all of those things. Now, by default, you're not going to immediately know where your minor card realm transmuter is, but as you go through different realms and you clear something called a Fey Tower, which should be the first thing you do, go clear your Fey Tower, and that'll unlock all the points of interest in your realm. So once you do that, then you'll have access to your realm minor cards, and these are incredibly powerful. I would highly recommend doing this first whenever you get to a new realm. Number 6, give your companion the weapons or tools that you want them to use with you. For instance, if you need lumber, equip an axe and they'll help you cut trees. If you need ore, give them a mining pick and they'll help you mine ore. You want to give them all of your old tools, you want to give them your old gear, really anything. All your hand-me-downs need to go to your companions. That way you can level them up with you, because if you leave them in their baseline 16 gear score stuff, they're not going to be very useful to you in combat, and they're not going to be very useful to you in terms of harvesting things. They're just going to slow you down. So making sure to give them your hand-me-downs and bring them along with you is going to be key. Number 7, make sure to open new portals to visit essence traders. So they're going to have new things for you to unlock and help boost your gear score. So what I'm trying to say is don't get like hyper attached or focus entirely on a story mission and just go, hey, I really have to open this specific portal to complete this story mission, because it's not only always going to be possible, and it might be you're not really ready for that story mission quite yet. So be flexible, experiment, try different card combinations, open new portals, visit those essence traders, and see what they'll allow you to unlock. This helped me unlock firearms, helped me unlock mauls, helped me unlock all sorts of new melee weapons and new gear. So be aware of what you have access to, and don't feel like you have to go directly to the story mission or stick to a particular portal. Number 8, augmentations. So augmentations unlock recipes and determine the buffs on your crafted items. So don't wait on the story to unlock them for you. Go out, purchase them from essence traders, and then craft them. So this is the big thing. When you just open up your build menu, you're going to have a section called augmentations. These are things like saddle rack, coat rack, toolbox. And if you look and hover over each one, you'll be able to see what recipes it'll grant you. And this is incredibly powerful because, again, the story isn't going to just hand you everything. It's not going to say, hey, here's a new melee weapon. Hey, here's a new firearm. Here's this. You need to go and grab these augmentations and place them in your base. That way, it'll allow you to craft brand new stuff and more powerful stuff. So guys, those are the top 8 things that I wish I knew before playing Nightingale. It would have made my experience much easier. Hopefully it gives you guys all the information you need to hit the ground running and start conquering the realms. Thank you all so much for watching. This has been Vulkan, and I'll talk to you guys next time.